Hey everyone, welcome. I'm MisterBo, and in today's video we're going to be talking about my impressions and my thoughts on Destiny 2, obviously having played the beta now, and we're going to be focusing on PvP and Crucible mainly than PvE. Now I will say before we get into this, I'm mainly playing Countdown here. I haven't really played Control a lot. In Destiny 1 I wasn't really a fan of Control, I focused more towards elimination, salvage, and even supremacy. I'm not really a fan of the Control game type as a whole. So in the Destiny 2 beta, I've only really played a lot of the Countdown game mode, which I'm so far really enjoying. It takes the elimination game mode that a lot of people loved in Destiny 1 and adds an objective to it, which really focuses the combat and the gameplay and the maps, and as Bungie has already said, the maps are tailored for those game modes. When you're playing the game mode Countdown, all the maps that you're going to be playing have been specifically designed for that game mode, which is a really neat addition. And I think that's a really cool thing that they're adding into Destiny 2. However, when it comes to Destiny 2, it just doesn't seem maybe as fun as Destiny 1. Not to say that it just isn't fun, because it is a lot of fun, but compared to what Destiny 1 was, it doesn't really feel the same. It seems Bungie are taking the approach of making it more focused around gunplay and skill, which is again completely fine. A lot of people like that in a game, but it doesn't really feel like Destiny. Destiny has always been about, yes, gun and skill play, but also being able to use your abilities like your grenades, your melees, and your supers to change the way the gameplay is flowing, making you feel like you're a badass taking out 3 people with 1 Nova Bomb, or protecting your team with a Titan bubble against rapid incoming fire. And that isn't the case in Destiny 2. Again, I haven't played Control, so I can't go to depths of how quickly this stuff happens, but in Countdown, your super recharge rate is drastically reduced to what we saw in Destiny 1. If you're playing a game of Countdown, you'll be lucky enough to even get your super once in a game. For instance, the gameplay you're seeing on screen at the moment, a game of Countdown in which I was doing pretty well. I don't think I died, or if I did, I only died once. We were destroying the opposite team. They didn't win a single round. When did I get my super? Well, I got my super at the end of the final round, when all the enemies were dead and the game was about to end. And I was the only person in that game to get their super. That's kind of a problem when it comes to Destiny. As I said, it's all about using your abilities to win games. The opposite team, if this had been Destiny 1, would probably have been able to win a round if they'd had their supers. They could have used them in a tactical way to take out the opposing team. But they never did get those supers, so they were never really able to win back a game. Maybe they just didn't have the skill and gunplay to outwit the enemy. Now along with that, in Destiny 1 you'd also use your melee and grenades to help win combat scenarios. And again, you can't really do that in Destiny 2. To kill someone with your melee, it takes 3 hits. And grenades, they don't really kill enemies anymore unless you're perhaps playing as a Voidwalker Warlock and you're using your supercharge to power up a grenade to try and kill someone, which is a really cool mechanic in the game, and I'm glad they're introducing sort of more unique mechanics like this into Destiny 2. And when it comes to a combat scenario where you want to use your grenade and you want to use your melee, it doesn't really seem worth it. You're more likely to be able to win the battle if you just focus on shooting an enemy. And while that's the case in a lot of other shooters, I don't find that the case in Destiny 1. Destiny 1, again, is all about using your gun and your abilities, combining them together to try and outwit your opponent. Now another big, maybe not problem, but a big concern in Destiny 2 is the fact you get team-shotted a lot. In most cases, if you are on your own and you're going up against 2 enemies, chances are you're going to die because you don't have your super to try and get both of them, and your grenades and your melees just aren't helping you win that battle. So I think that's something that needs to maybe be addressed in Destiny 2. Just tweak the balancing on your grenades and your melees, maybe make the recharge rate of your supers a little bit quicker. Of course, this is the beta, so we don't have all the weapons and armor available to us, so we don't know how different the weapon variation is going to be, and we don't know what the perks and weapon mods and things are going to be like to affect recharge rate and damage on some of these abilities, so it is really hard to tell if this is something that needs changing in the full game, or if we are just not getting the full experience because we just don't have these items. Now also we have the brand new class ability in Destiny 2, and it's a really neat addition, especially for the Warlock and the Titan. The Titan can put up these barriers, and the Warlock can put down a buff which will either heal anyone inside it or give anyone a damage boost inside it, which is really neat. However, something that confuses me when it comes to these abilities is that they recharge quicker than your melee and your grenade, which seems a bit strange because they seem more useful. having the ability to heal yourself or your teammates in an area seems a lot more useful than chucking a grenade at someone, which isn't really going to do much damage. Same with the Titan shield, you can block off an entire area. Maybe you're arming the point on countdown, you block the doors with these shields. Enemies aren't going to want to run through them because they get damaged and slowed. So you kind of block off an area, allowing you to win the game, and that recharges really quickly. Now, I think one way they could combat this in a game mode that is round based is at the beginning of every round you spawn with your grenade, melee and class ability. Or if maybe not that, they are close to recharging at the start of every round. Maybe after 10 or 20 seconds, everyone in the game will always have their abilities to be used, making the game a little bit more fun. That way you know when you started a round, you know the enemy are going to have these abilities pretty soon, but again you are. So you've got to work out how to outflank the enemies. So that is my main sort of worry and concern about Destiny 2 at the moment, is the way the abilities work with the way the gunplay works. I think the gunplay is a lot more smoother, it's a lot more skill based as I've already said, and I do like the addition of kinetic, energy and power weapons. Having power ammo spawn about 20 seconds into each round of countdown is a really cool feature, so why can't we have that with abilities as well? Now, obviously things are going to change from now until the full game. Bungie's already said they've changed a few things in PvE, and I think they've slightly tweaked a few things in PvP, so by the time we play the full game, we'll notice a slight difference. But I do think they need to maybe tweak some things here, because it doesn't feel like Destiny. It feels more like Halo Destiny, and that isn't a bad thing again, but it's not what people maybe are coming to expect. But those are just my opinions, and that's my thought on the Destiny 2 beta at this current time. I'd love to know what you guys think of this. Do you think Destiny 2's multiplayer is super fun? Are you really enjoying it? Or do you find it a little bit lackluster? You know, are you maybe not as good with guns in Destiny and you kind of used to rely on your abilities a lot, and now that you don't really have that option, what do you think of it? One thing I will add, which I really do like that they've added, is they've kind of taken the approach that Overwatch did when it comes to scoring games. In Destiny 2 now you have like your efficiency rating, which is given to you at the end of a game, and that combines your kills, your assists. You can't actually see your kill-death ratio anymore, which makes people feel like they're actually doing something in the game. Like with Overwatch, if you get an assist on someone, that kind of counts as an elimination. It pops up and you're like, oh, I helped kill that guy, instead of, oh, I was shooting at that guy and then someone came along, killed him, and I just got an assist. I think that's a great addition to the game, and I think it's going to make people feel like they're doing stuff, make people maybe not rage quit. They feel like, okay, I'm still getting kills, I'm still doing good here, I don't need to just quit because I've got 0 kills and a load of assists. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on the Destiny 2 beta. Do you agree with me? Do you think things need to change in Destiny 2? Or are you happy with everything as it is at the moment? Again, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give the like button a big old hug, subscribe for more Destiny 2 content and coverage. I'm going to be trying to cover as much as I can leading up to the full game on September 6th, and of course when the game comes out you can expect a ton of content. If you are playing the Destiny 2 beta, remember that the farm is going to be playable tomorrow on July 23rd for an hour. I don't know if we have an exact time at this current time, but I will be sure to cover that for you guys as well. Anyways, hopefully you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.